Recently completed making this little notebook cover for myself out of Chèvre leather, and that requires that I'm going to be edge painting, or at least using edge paint. So I've recently got a new edge paint called Uniters, and I've tried many edge paints from around the world, different types from all different companies, and something I can say straight away, after just applying a first coat, it works amazingly well. I'm super happy with the results that I'm getting. I've also for the first time tried one of these edge paint rollers. I did the first layer of the paint on that. It came out rather messy. I'm not happy with the result. For many years I've always used an awl. I applied with an awl. So let me show you a little bit about the process, how I do it at least, and yeah, hopefully it helps you. My name is Tarek. A lot of you will know me as the maker behind that scarving knife and that knife, which I call the pattern knife. I started off as a leather worker and designed the tools for my own leather work. I'm going to be showing you some of the tricks and tips and things that I guess helped me along that journey, and hopefully they'll help you too. Let me show you how the edge painting works, at least from my perspective. So right now I have a single layer of edge paint on my notebook cover, and you can see it doesn't go all the way to the edge. Now this is the only time that I'll set my fileteuse at a hotter heat. I'm using a SO5 tip on it. So this is the only time, guys, I want to recommend, this is the only time I use this at a higher heat. On my one, it's set at number 6. Please note that all of these boxes are different. So number 6 on mine might not be number 6 on yours. I kind of actually touch the things, I work by feel. So when I start going on that first layer, my whole objective with this is to, first of all, smooth down the multiple edges that are all together and start spreading that edge paint on areas that are longer. I won't try and get all of that all at the same time. I'll kind of break that work up into sections. So yeah, I'm doing half of that area, just working it, turn the product around in my hand, and I'll work the other half. I'm really impressed with the results that I'm getting. I mean, this is only layer number 1. This is first layer and I'm getting an excellent result already. So I'm going to be applying layer number 2 with my awl again. So while I'm busy applying this edge paint, I just want you to know that I'm putting as light a layer as possible to cover the whole edge. Putting multiple light layers on will allow you to spread the paint a lot more evenly with your fileteuse as well. So this is layer number 2 that I'm busy smoothing with my fileteuse, and look at that result. I mean, that is, well, for me, I've never used this edge paint before in a product, and I have certainly never got such a great finished edge on layer 2. There's going to be one more layer, 3 layers, and this is going to be done. That's a huge time saving. Okay, so what I'm doing with layer 2 now is I can see that the edge paint is not quite to the edges. So this side hasn't, I've just slightly heated this, but what I'm doing now is using the fileteuse just to spread that paint neatly right to the edge. So I've just finished with the fileteuse on layer number 2 with this edge paint, and what you'll notice if you start using edge paint or you have used it before, sometimes you get a little bit of a bleed that comes over onto your leather. So I'm going to show you how to quickly remove that. So what I'm using is just a piece of shop rubber. I use this obviously in the knife workshop to clean that edge. It works really well. Or a piece of crepe rubber. Crepe, I think that's what it's called. That white rubber that's used on shoes. That works really well as well. But I have this lying around and it gets the job done. So I'm about to start layer number 3. And I think that's going to be the finishing layer with this new edge paint and my notebook cover. So I finished on layer number 3, but something that I've noticed obviously on being on video and trying to explain my technique to you as best I can, on my finishing movement, I go in a single direction. So once the paint is completely smooth, I'll take the item and I'll go in a single movement to give it its final finish. So as I'm looking down my item that I'm making, down the edge, if you want to just imagine a curve like this, and earlier I spoke about working it in different portions. So how I like to work my edge is I'll work it in a third at a time. So I'll work down the top side of that edge, down the middle of the edge, and then down the bottom third of the edge. But that's all gets done, if you look at that as another view of the edge, that all gets done with the fileteuse in a continuous motion back and forth. So even when I'm working that section as a half or however long I'm going to work it, the fileteuse is running back and forth the whole time. This is my technique. You can try obviously different motions. I'm actually maneuvering it the whole time. So as I'm moving it, I'll be going back and forth. Sometimes I will touch it on the fourth or on the forward stroke or just on the back stroke, but generally I've got this rocking motion going as I'm turning the product, tilting it to work the edge in these different thirds. I find for my own personal style of doing the work, this has worked best for me, but try out your own techniques. Let me know if you've got another way that works better. So almost at an end with this little item. It's got its 3 layers of edge paint on. The edge is looking nice and clean, nice and smart, but to just get that finesse now and finish it off in a way that I like to finish it off at least, I'm going to need a piece of 1200 grit sandpaper. I'm going to need some, what have we got here? Some paraffin wax and some fabric that I bought so many years ago. I can't even remember what it is, but I've used this for a long time to finish my edges. Kind of feels like a synthetic fabric of some kind. I don't know what it is. Let's get started. Remember to look out for this little blade. I'm launching a charter-made version. I'm going to take this 1200 grit sandpaper and I'm going to just gently rub it on the edge. Just gently rub it on the edge. I personally find that I just get a much cleaner edge when I use a piece of sandpaper and I just finish it with a light sanding. I get a lot more sheen at the end of it when I'm using my burnishing cloth, and the whole edge is it just evens the whole lot out just beautifully. Next step, I'm taking a bit of paraffin wax and just going to rub that on the edge. Right, so the last step, I'm going to use this piece of cloth just to burnish up that edge. Is burnishing the right word? Probably not, but at least just to give it its nice finishing look. Wow, look at that sheen coming through, look at that. This has been the first item I've made for myself out of leather in years. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope the techniques that I've shared with you in this video on how to get your edges a little bit cleaner are helpful. Just remember, the most important part is just to experiment and find your own ways, find ways that feel comfortable to you. So if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up underneath, give it a like, subscribe to the channel because I am going to be making a lot more videos, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.